Good evening, guys, or well, good afternoon, I should say. Just gone 4:45. Just gonna have a quick look over the markets, how they've reacted today. Just as we speak, got the dollar index on the high of the day, now above 90 for the first time in a while, and you can see from my screen here, euro dollar on the low of the day. Just have a quick flick through. You've got the pound, pretty much the low, and Aussie dollar, pretty much the low as well. So we've seen some dollar strength throughout the day today. In fact, we're probably coming to quite an interesting point for euro dollar. You've got 123 just below. The main move, obviously, this morning, if I just lower the time frame, did happen once we broke through this point in the market here. Although you can see the spike to the upside on sort of talk out of Germany on there being a coalition, but as it's pretty much been a talk for a while, brushed aside pretty quickly. Then we pushed lower, and then what was quite a nice trade where some of the guys in the office did get in was the break of yesterday's low, marked up here, and the breakthrough. And since then it's been pretty one directional in terms of where we could get to. For those that are still sticking around, as mentioned, 123 is a pretty interesting level before we get down to further areas of resistance, previous support I should say, through there. So the euro dollar finally looking to break out of this sort of consolidation range that we've seen. Similar for the pound as well, having broken through the pivot this morning. We also
White House economic advisor Hasid says
found the resistance there, and now we're back down towards those lows around 139 as well. Aussie dollar, which had the negative, well, less hawkish, we'd say, comments from the central bank not long ago. Retail sales also not great, so added with the stronger US dollar, it's coming back down to those lows we saw yesterday. Copper as well took a bit of a beating as well, which is also gonna weigh on that. In terms of where the Aussie dollar is in terms of this longer chart, you can see some big areas of support just below. So another one to keep an eye on, I should say, going into the remainder of the session. Is the dollar going to finish above 90? If so, you've got to imagine the test of those support levels is pretty imminent. Dollar yen being relatively choppy today, but you can just see here we're at the highest level we've seen for quite a few hours anyway, but just coming off that as we speak. But you can see it has been a pretty choppy market. The easier trades coming in, the other dollar pairs, both euro, cable and Aussie dollar, as we look to push a bit lower. Data wise, it's been a quiet day on the data front until 3:30 before we go in to talk about equities. Just bring up oil, and you can see here the reaction to the downside. Lower the time frame down, and you can see there's the data release. So bearish for price, and let's just run over the main reason for that, because we've also got a call from our very own Piers Curran. As I said, US crude oil output moves above OPEC output for the first time since 1980s crisis. Game changer here for the crude price trend. Bearish on WTI crude, now expecting a move back to $60 on November 17 high, around 59. And you can see the reaction through there. It was up, let me just switch over just to get the exact figure. Yeah, up 3.35%. So bearish for price, understandably, and the move also lower the time frame down. It did offer a couple of good opportunities, the classic on the S1 and also the S2. We're now sort of ranging down slightly, so for those perhaps looking for continuation of that, have this trend line on here marking up that as well. But understandably, price moving lower, and in the grand scheme of things, let me just remove those trend lines to clear it up a bit. You can see pretty important support from a technical point of view around 61.06. Through there, it does open the door, you have to say, to that round sort of $60 handle and previous high and then low back from the end of 2018. So definitely one to keep an eye on over the next few days, and where we finish for the week as well is going to be pretty important. I just realised my chart hasn't been sharing that oil. So yeah, here's the levels that we're on about there. 61.06. You've got the low of the 5th. You've then got the high of the 2nd of January before looking down to $60. You've also got that low there you can see on the 29th. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with oil going forward over the next few days. Equity markets, not in just the US, but over here in Europe as well, benefiting to the upside. You can see we've hit important points in the market, broken through important points in the market for the S&P. Still got a bit of room to go to probably the most important part. So it looks like we could well be looking to have a test of that soon. The Dow Jones, you can see, has gone through similar sort of level there and looking to push on. Does seem the worst is behind us for a while. Nasdaq, which had a go at it last night, but now comfortably breaking through, finding support on that previous resistance level. The DAX, nice gap fill opportunities. We pushed higher at the 230 US cash open. You can see here initially finding resistance once that was filled before going again, and on what was the high of the close yesterday, a lovely resistance area, and now finding support again on what was that resistance from the gap. So one to keep an eye on for equities. You've got to favour the upside, I have to say, but all of those markets on the up as well. Just gonna have a quick look over at the FTSE. As you can see here, it is a massive level. We made the low before the crash, pretty much the high yesterday, and another high around here now. Can we break through there? I would favour yes. Whether we're going to do it now or tomorrow remains to be seen, but if US equities continue to push to the upside, you have to favour it. Gold has continued its move to the downside. The dollar is strengthening here. Let's put this on a longer chart. You can see really is pushing down nicely. Also hampered by the fact that equities have been boosted. We're on an important point, even bigger level. You can see marked up to here. Can we get down there? You'd have to say if equities continue to push on and the US dollar continues to strengthen. Happy days. T-notes, stronger dollar, equities higher, same as gold, coming to that low point of the day. If those sticking around, you could see a bit of a push through if all of that continues. We'll keep an eye on this point here. What was the high of the morning of the 5th? Interesting level as well before getting down to support points, and then yes, one. Going back to that oil, let's just have a quick look. You can see the reaction was strong. You're always going to have a bit of retracement, but I think medium-term trade is now definitely going to be favouring that upside. But markets for the rest of the day, focus is going to be on oil, but US equities, are we going to push through these key levels, and will it drag the FTSE and DAX up as well? Euro dollar on that low, and it's got a bit of free room to go, so 123 is in its sights. Cable just finding a tiny bit of support at that low of the day. Any questions, please do get them in the chat. I'll be here for a while. If not, I'll catch you all tomorrow. Just to finish up, before let's have a quick look at the old Bitcoin. 6 to 8 in a matter of well, just over 24 hours, and we're now finding a bit of resistance. The bulls will tell you it's a start of the route back to 20. The bears will say it's profit taking from all those shorts. But yeah, equities and the US dollar. Are we going to see a continuation of what we've seen today? If that's the case, gold and T-notes could come under a bit more pressure. But yeah, definitely an interesting time in the market, and I feel the last few closes have been interesting as well. So plenty more moves. Long may this continue. But have a good evening, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.